pro-democracy protesters in Eswatini have defied an overnight curfew to call for constitutional reforms as tensions increase in Africa's last absolute monarchy. Demonstrations flared earlier this week in the tiny and landlocked kingdom, with protesters taking to the streets in the two largest cities of Manzini and Mbabane. Our reporter Mweli Masilela joins us now on the phone line there. Mweli, if you're able to hear us clearly, give us a sense of, what happened overnight and what kind of crackdown would have resulted from that curfew being defied.
Good morning, Michelle. I can tell you that I've covered quite a number of stories here in the kingdom of Eswatini, including protests, but I've never seen a protest of this magnitude happening in this kingdom. Yesterday, when we came through at the border traveling to Mbabane, where we were supposed to stay overnight, we were blocked, I think, more than 4 times by people who were protesting along the roads, burning some objects on the road. And in some instances, they told you to pay a certain amount of money in order to have your way through. But it shows in terms of the anger from the side of Eswatini here in the kingdom of Eswatini. But also, Michelle, on our way, we also had a situation whereby we found that one of the towns, which is Pixpic, it was burning. Some buildings were on fire there. That is when we had to be turned away by the soldiers who were armed and actually saying that they won't allow us to pass through so that we can get to Mbabane. So we had to find an alternative route to Mbabane, Michelle, which took us some more hours. And what actually shows the kind of situation that is happening here is that even the hotel, Michelle, where we were told that it's now closed, it's not operational because of security threats. We know that the protesters have been saying that they are targeting each and every building or infrastructure whereby the king, which is King Mswati III, is having some shares. And we are told that particular hotel as well is having some shares there. So that is the kind of situation, Michelle. It's a total shutdown, especially in the major towns, which is Manzini and Mbabane. Actually, the soldiers are in charge of the whole situation now.
What are we looking at in terms of the number of people who have been killed, Mweli? We're getting differing reports, some as high as 21, others saying 8 people have been killed, dozens more injured, dozens more detained as well as those protests continue. What are you hearing there?
Michelle, to be honest with you, it's very difficult to get the correct information, mainly because in terms of communication, the government of Eswatini hasn't been coming out clearly in as far as that matter is concerned. But I called the spokesperson of the police early this morning, Pindile Vilagati, just to find out as to what exactly is transpired, because we are getting those reports of people who have been killed in the country. She then referred me to the spokesperson of government, Sabelo Lamini, and I got hold of him, and he said that he will organize an interview with the acting Prime Minister Themba Masuku for us, so that we can get clarity, because he's saying that this information now has to come from the highest authority, so he's not going to be able, or he's not in a position now to give us some details. But of course, hinting from their side as government that there is a lot of fake news that is circulating around, perhaps insinuating that it might not be true, that there are people who have died. So, but we are hoping that we will, at the end of the day, get hold of the acting Prime Minister just to clarify some of the issues for us, Michelle, because some people are complaining that government has been caught napping in terms of communication on this issue. That is what actually ended up frustrating and leading to some of the citizens being angry, taking to the streets, Michelle.
In the meantime, Mweli, the question still is, as far as I know, the whereabouts of King Mswati. Do we know? Have we confirmed either way?
That's another matter that we'll try and get clarity. But we know that already the government of Eswatini, they released a statement to say that the king is in the country. There is no way he can leave the country when there is this kind of a situation. And also we know that there was audio released by the daughter of the king, that is Princess Sikanyiso, who is also the Minister of Information, Communications and Technology in the Kingdom of Eswatini. But some of the Maswati here are saying that they would have appreciated at least if it was indeed the king conveying that message. How then now the president or his daughter is being sent to deliver that message, whereby she was apologizing, acknowledging that there are some gaps in terms of what is happening in the country, and also saying that they know of the grievances that the Eswatini citizens are putting forward, and that matter is being attended to. But it seems like Eswatini citizens didn't take that message that was coming from the princess. So really, it remains to be seen. We are hoping that, Michelle, during our coverage here, we'll be able to get as much information as possible in that regard, whether the king is here or he has left, or whether how many people have died already in as far as these protests are concerned. We are hoping we'll be able to get that information as the day progresses, Michelle.
In terms of speaking to people, citizens who are part of these protests, Mweli, have you been able to do so as yet?
Look, some of the people we've met on the streets, as I said, that we have blocked them more than 4 times on the streets. But, you know, these people don't want to be on camera, most of them. But what they are saying is that, indeed, what they want now in the Kingdom of Eswatini is multi-party democracy. They are saying that they've been suppressed for a long time now. We know that the political parties in the Kingdom of Eswatini were banned in 1973 by the then King Sobhuza II. So they are saying that during these years they've seen they've experienced a lot of challenges, because if you look into the statistics, more than 60% of the Eswatini population, they are living under the poverty line. So they're saying that it's time that they are given a voice as citizens of this kingdom, because even now the violence has escalated, mainly because, according to many people, these people were trying to use the very system of governance, which is Dingula, to deliver their petitions in those 55 constituencies whereby members of parliament are elected to represent the people. And then there was that communication to say that the delivery of those petitions is now banned. So that's what angered people to say, what do we do now? Because even the very system that is being used in the country for the people is now blocking us from raising our concerns. So that is what people are saying, Michelle, on the ground, to say that they want some change. In fact, we also managed to speak to the president of Pudemo, and these people are saying even now it's difficult for them to go out. They are literally under house arrest, looking at the situation, because we know that already there are some political activists that are being pursued, including the leader of the economic freedom fighters in Eswatini. We got some reports that he has been arrested. So during our coverage of this particular situation, we'll also look into that to find out as to what exactly is happening with those political leaders or those people who are in the forefront in terms of protesting and calling for political reforms here in the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Mweli Masilela, live to us there from Eswatini. Take care out there as you continue to track that story for us here at Newzroom Afrika. Protesters calling for a multi-party democracy in Africa's last absolute monarchy. Just some of the issues coming out of that interview with Mweli. It's still not clear the whereabouts of the king. Eswatini government insisting that he is indeed still in the country. Officials not confirming the number of fatalities either. There is a lot of fake news, we're told, that is circulating. And so as we try and get you the facts on the ground, you can stay tuned to 405 for the latest on that story.